Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here for this event, GrowBot's Festival. We are here with Stefano Linari, CEO and founder of Linari Engineering, and Pablo Vidarte, CEO and founder of BO, two companies working on research and technology, science and technology. So my first question is for Stefano. Stefano, can you tell us what does it mean to create innovation starting from research studies?
Yeah, thank you for this question, Valeria. Because all my companies, I am a serial entrepreneur, was born from research. My first company that I founded in 2011 came from my experience during my degrees at CERN in Geneva, gathering together IoT technology and web technology, and Alleanza company was born. In 2019, I founded another companies coming from research in clinical study in a neurovisual rehabilitation with an Italian hospital, Fondazione Stella Maris. And then, last but not least, because it's the oldest one, even Linari Engineering, that with its division that is Linari Nanotech, is actually working and growing thanks to cooperation in a research study for nanomaterials. We have actually more than 200 research centers, universities all over the world using our technology and helping us to develop new materials with our tools. The sauce that we use, probably the magic sauce is, I was before a researcher. I start on the other side of the table, starting to work at the University of Pisa, INFN, and then I have clear in mind needs and rules of the game for university. And then I can cooperate and work with these guys in a very efficient way, I think.
So is it possible to create a new company starting just from science and technology? Just, I mean, you're an example of several companies.
Yeah, it's possible. It's quite hard to find money, at least in Italy. This is the hardest part because knowledge and talent are available. Money for high-tech company is not so easy to rise, but things are changing even in Italy.
Good. Well, we hope. Pablo, you are based in Spain. Which is your experience? And I mean, you develop technologies dedicated to energy. Can you make some example also?
Yeah, well, I actually began by creating companies also focused on energy generation and other things which have nothing to do with that, but specifically with bio, which is actually the coolest one, so to say. Actually, we have a lot of technologies. They are not all dedicated to generating electricity from nature itself, but the most interesting ones are. And a few examples could be, for example, something that we call the a biological battery, which is able to generate energy just from the soil itself, using the organic matter that it's dragged by irrigation systems or even rainwater, and also generating energy from plants themselves or other living organisms in the environment without damaging them. That's the most interesting part of the whole thing. And we do this by actually collecting the naturally liberated electrons that basically appear in all natural reactions with microorganisms in the ground. I mean, if you have an average grass, for example, you will find a lot of microorganisms eating things there in the ground. And it's the most common thing to find just free electrons in the ground that normally just go away and recombine. What we do basically is to catch those electrons before they recombine. And that's how we generate electricity from nature. And our goal goal is to place it in cities and even in agriculture as a step forwards towards the energy generation of the future.
So it's sort of a circular economy. I mean, you generate from waste or from whatever is in nature in the form of energy. So you open a question to how technology can be sustainable. So Stefano, what for you in Linari, sustainable for the environment? What are you doing? What you are going to do?
Yeah, in Linari, we are machine builders. So we built electrospinning system to produce nanomaterials for several industries, from textile to sensors, electronics, and biotech. We have the scope, the challenge to reduce components inside our machine, reduce weight of our machines, not because our machine has to fly, but because every grams that we save is some natural material that we save, that we don't have to ship and to maintain in several places in the world. What we want to do in the future is something that is related really with the GrowBot projects, because we are working to develop a technology where such artifacts can be created exactly where you need it. So that is something more than the usual 3D printers or 4D printers. We are thinking to create a structure that is not existing per se, but it's binded with the surrounded environment, like an ivy. So the structure, the robot, will be even without basement. So we are creating something that is just the minimum quantity of materials to be functional. So just a single layer of polymeric, probably biodegradable polymer that grow and help to sustain the weight using existing structure, just to add the additional functionalities that you need. For example, you have to put in place a sensor. You have to put in place sticky materials to fix some damaged wall together. This is what we are pushing our scope, reducing all the components and build exactly where we need it, with a sort of additive technology that is plant expired.
And Pablo, for you, I mean, you already work in a sustainable way, but do you think you can do more in terms of materials, energy as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, if you think about it, every single technology that has been made throughout history, it's actually being considered as sustainable somehow. I mean, even if you stop from burning oil or something like that, the thing is that we were not really conscious about the effects that it had. And little by little, there has been a progression. And for example, solar energy, which is actually one of the highest levels to which we've arrived with these technologies, it is actually kind of damaging in terms of, for example, if you look in Germany, they are actually cutting down trees just to place these panels, but they're not really a bad thing. You just have to locate them in the proper place. And that's exactly what we're doing with Bio. We are creating the next leap in order to have an excuse to place trees instead of cutting them down. Even for forestry industries, the goal with these technologies is to actually make nature something that is not just beautiful, but something that is efficient for our society. So even the most selfish companies have an excuse for something like that. And it is something that could be scaled in a way bigger dimension in terms of the materials that it's made of. I mean, the main materials, for example, are based on graphite, and actually it's one of the most abundant materials in the world, and it's purely made out of carbon. There is no nothing more organic than that, basically. And it's something that it's going to take time, as we all know. But in general terms, it is the next leap, and that's where we're going ahead to.
And I mean, you are both involved in the GrowBot project, which is a future and emerging technologies. So something really challenging for research, but also for the technological application it may have. Well, I mean, Stefano already described, but maybe we want to add more about your involvement in this project. And also, Pablo, if you can explain us how GrowBot can help you in this technological development.
Okay, Stefano, you first.
I can. Yes, GrowBot start for us with a very strange project because we work mainly with steel and polymers. And when we accept to work with plants for a nuclear engineering, it sounds quite strange. And I discovered an entire world of people that spoke and study and measure plants. That for me, it was completely randomic science. Instead, it existed real science. I discovered that. And speaking with these incredible teams of scientists in the GrowBot project, for me, yes, I'm really inside a forest of information that amazing. What I'm learning from this people, from this team, it's plants follow rules to grow, simple rules to choose and to cooperate together, that in their basic principle are very easy, but unfortunately, as even Einstein told, simple solutions are not simple to find. And observing plants, I'm together with the even GrowBot team, we are discovering incredible strategies to how plants cooperate together. And we are trying to mimic this incredible ability developed in thousands of evolution inside machines. So this is, for me, it's an incredible discovery. I never think to learn so much in my life about so different field from my background. And now we are working with our scope in this project. It's to shrink what we usually install over an entire desktop inside a tip of the plant. It started just as a technical challenge. Now it's more. It's not just the shrink hole inside one coin. Because our project coordinator, Barbara, is not happy of just this result. We have to shrink in a coin or a machine large like a kitchen desktop, but we have to run this device with a small power consumption using biocompatible materials. And this is more important. At the beginning, I was not so happy, but at the end, I understand how she asked us without special intelligence on board. We have just to use passive technology. The system has to understand how to spoon and create fibers for build a plant, mimic simple rules that nature has still in place. Obviously, it's a very beautiful to explain, so hard to build. And one of the aims that we are addressing and we are close to address is from the power consumption. So we have cut controllers and motors and actuators, and at the end we have something that can run with a very few power. And with Pablo, we are close to arrange a solution that can be self-sustained from the soil. So we can power it. We are very close, Pablo, to power the artifact directly from the soil, just few milliwatts to grow.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually, in my case, a very extraordinary thing as well, because I remember when Barbara came to us and say, "Hey, you make energy with soil and plants. Do you want to power a plant?" And we were like, "What? Wait, what?" Well, it's a robotic. We actually want to replicate a root as in a robot, and we were like, wow, that's very interesting, but it's just like reverse engineering just what we consider as an entity outside of our system. But it was actually very interesting, and it helped us a lot in understanding how these entities actually react in the environment, apart from just generating energy or just providing some benefits in general terms. I mean, just the fact that we could predict how the roots are going to penetrate inside our batteries, or how that can affect our systems, it's a great thing. And if we could actually help powering a system that it's helping the helping the environment and also replicating the environment as well, it was actually a great thing. And apart from that, it has actually helped us a lot in knowing how to create batteries that could survive in a very harsh condition. I mean, or just placing them in agricultural fields, for example, to power small devices or even sensors. It's like a way to actually advance a lot in a technology that will be used for, well, a lot of things, even from agriculture to forests or even bigger things. So that was the main purpose for GrowBot, and how it actually helped us in our research and development in a great way.
So the project is helping you to thinking out of the box, a new solution, new approaches to
exactly
technology, and find solutions. Good, very good. I mean, this is the meaning of future and emerging technologies. I don't know if you want to add more. Just say bye to Barbara Mazzolai. Maybe.
Sure, our boss.
We mentioned her. She is the coordinator of the project, of course. I think that our time is done. I cannot see additional questions from the public. I don't know if you want to add something more, if you want to say.
One thing, we are hiring smart guys. Please contact me.
Okay.
And of course, anyone who wants to get in touch with us because they find anything interesting, just Google BO with 2 O's in Google, and well, you will find us.
Okay. Right. That's a good announcement to say bye-bye and see you next.
Have a great day.
Bye. Bye-bye.